Have you ever noticed how the loudest voice in the room is not always the wisest? We live in a world where noise is everywhere. People talking over each other, opinions flying in every direction. Everyone is trying to be seen, heard, and validated. And somewhere in all that chaos, we started believing something dangerous, that volume equals value. But it doesn't. Noise has never been a sign of depth. The person who talks non-stop, who forces their opinion into every conversation, who constantly needs attention, is often not full of confidence. They are full of something else, a gap, a silence inside themselves that they are trying to cover up with words. Because real confidence doesn't need to announce itself. Think about it. When someone truly understands something, they don't rush to prove it. They don't interrupt. They don't dominate the room. They don't need to. They speak when it matters. And when they do, people listen. But today, we've confused presence with volume. We assume that the person who speaks the most knows the most, that the one who argues the loudest is the strongest, that the one who never stops talking must be important. But that's an illusion. Talking more doesn't mean thinking better. Repeating ideas doesn't mean understanding them, and raising your voice doesn't turn a lie into the truth. Yet, in a world that rewards attention, many people have learned a shortcut. They've learned how to sound convincing without actually being solid. They master the tone, the confidence, the delivery, but behind it, there's nothing real. No depth, no clarity, no substance. And the problem is, it works. At least for a while. Because when everything becomes a competition for attention, the loudest person often wins. Not because they're right, but because they're heard. But here's the real question. What happens when the noise fades? What happens when there's no audience left to impress? That's where the truth shows up. Because silence is different. Silence is uncomfortable. It strips everything away. No performance, no distractions, no hiding. Just you and who you really are. And not everyone can handle that. That's why so many people fill every moment with words. They avoid silence because silence forces honesty. It forces clarity. It forces you to face yourself without filters. But the people who grow, the people who truly understand, they don't run from silence. They use it. They think before they speak. They choose their words carefully. They don't react out of impulse. They respond with intention. And that changes everything. Because when you stop trying to prove yourself and start focusing on being consistent, your presence becomes stronger without you needing to raise your voice. You don't need to dominate conversations. You don't need to win every argument. You don't need to convince everyone. Your actions start speaking for you. Your consistency starts building trust. Your silence starts carrying weight. And people notice that, not immediately, not loudly, but deeply. Because in the end, respect is not built on how much you say. It's built on what stands behind your words. Anyone can talk. Anyone can sound confident for a few minutes. Anyone can grab attention. But not everyone can hold respect over time. That comes from something real, something steady, something that doesn't depend on applause. So, the next time you feel the need to speak just to be heard, pause. Ask yourself, is this adding value or just adding noise? Because noise might get attention for a moment, but substance earns respect for a lifetime. And that is something no amount of volume can fake.